professional chief executive with good party officers, that I, as leader of the party, will allow them to get on with radically reorganising the management of this party and to be held accountable once a month to an elected national executive, leaving me, if I'm successful as leader, to get on with political leadership. I don't intend to manage this party. I don't intend to do it on a day-to-day basis. It's beyond the wit of anybody to do both. I want to stick to what I'm good at. I think I'm reasonably good at politics.
I would say we did try having a chief exec before Piers Merchant actually came in. He did it for 3 months, and he recommended we never did it again, because having one person with all this huge weight load on them from the party doesn't work. You need a team approach, a real team, in depth, strength and depth, and that's the way I would approach this. Yes, I think that's all I need to say on that.
I think a leader inevitably to some extent is a manager, and any manager cannot know what the leader is saying. There are basic issues of finance administration which then lead straight into political issues. For example, a donor will often attach conditions to the donation, and this is one thing which in the past I think has caused trouble. For example, there were conditions attached to some of the money that's come in the last 2 or 3 years. I think we want, as far as possible, to have somebody who can both lead and manage. That is what I want to do, and I can do it because I'm going to be in this country, not distracted by politicking in Brussels and Strasbourg. Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, as I said, I feel I've got the best of both worlds. I can't believe I'm so lucky. Now, most of what the bench has said today, I quite agree with. It's teamwork. You need teamwork in any political party. You need, above all, to be able to communicate. And in some way, the people out there, particularly the young independents coming throughout the whole nation, need and must be able to identify with you. We need fresh blood into this party, and that is what I can bring. Fresh blood. Youngsters who have such brilliant ideas. I've seen some of the young independents going throughout this United Kingdom Independence Party, and let me tell you, they're brilliant. We need to harness their expertise and skills and tone it and give them our experience, so we, in 3, 4, 5 years' time, can be a party to be reckoned with. Thank you.
Okay, well, we're coming towards the end, so I'll just ask each of the candidates in reverse order to the order that they gave their opening addresses in, to give us just 2 minutes to sum up why they believe that we should vote for them in the UKIP leadership election. So 2 minutes for each candidate in reverse order, so that will be Nigel Farage, Tim Congdon, David Campbell-Bannerman, and then Winston McKenzie. So 2 minutes, Nigel Farage.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Mr. Chairman, before we go to this part of the meeting, there's one very important question that hasn't been put, and that's to do with pan-European political parties.
Yeah, that question was asked at the last Hustings and went into a lot of detail. Has gone into none of the candidates are planning to take us into that this year anyway. So that's if you want to see the full answer to that, then that has been put online. I mean, perhaps in that case, if we give the candidates, rather than 2 minutes, we'll make it 2.5. Just so that they've got time to just address that specific question as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
On the subject of pan-European parties, there's been a lot of hysteria put out that if UKIP joined, we'd be selling out. All I can tell you is the Tories have just launched theirs, and we can be suspicious of that because we know we can't trust the Tories. But interesting that Baroness Thatcher has chosen to be the patron of their think tank. All right, listen, if the EU want to give us £500,000 a year to set up a think tank in London that allows us, through people like Abhijit Pandya, to produce something whereby we can compete with Open Europe and the other think tanks that exist in London, if they're prepared to pay for that, without us compromising our principles, then I think we should probably do it. All right, that's how I feel about that. On the question of the leadership, ladies and gentlemen, I put it to you that the single most important point about who you choose as leader is that the person will be the face of the party. The individual will be the person that has the opportunity to reach out to the mass millions. and you need to choose somebody who is a good media performer. You need to choose somebody who is able to put messages together that actually connect with ordinary working men and women in this country. You also need to remember that whilst the newspapers are important, one thing hasn't been discussed at all this afternoon, and that's new media. And I think I've led the way in UKIP, even though I'm a technophobe myself, but I recognise the importance of it. I've got the YouTube channel up and running. I'm the person doing Facebook. Some of my YouTube stuff has now been watched by millions of people, especially young people. If I'm your leader, I will embrace all forms of media. I have a trusted track record in campaigning for this party. The last time I led you, I took you to second in the European elections, something which had never been done before. I haven't climbed out of that aeroplane crash and decided, well, I want to stand as UKIP leader again for nothing. I am up for it. If I was bold before the air crash, I am fearless now. I want the job, and I ask for your trust and support. Thank you.
Can I just say that there are some tremendous resources and talent in this party. We've got talent here. There's also a very impressive display at the Torquay conference with a 50-minute presentation from Gerard Dutton and then from William Dartmouth and also Jason McGoldrick, and on an absolutely horrifying development in our country, which is the European arrest warrant, which actually enables the foreign police forces to require people to be taken from our country to their country without charge. And I put together this 50 minutes, and if I was party leader, pay for it by the way as well, the kind of thing I'd want to do